Hi there, I'm the Mythkeeper. Welcome back to my channel, the best place on the internet for Pathfinder lore and history. We're going back to my creature feature series here, and I'm doing a request video. Somebody had put this in the comments, and I like this idea, so I decided that I'm going to do a whole video about it. They had asked for a look at popular pets in the world of Pathfinder. Now, obviously, we have familiars for wizards, we have steeds and other kinds of animal companions for things like paladins or druids, and also players can just choose to buy a pet if they like. Now, different parts of the Pathfinder world have pets of varying popularity. Everybody knows that in Absalom they love badgers, for example. So I thought, why not do a deep dive into the popular pets of the Pathfinder world?
Welcome to the Mythkeeper Creature Feature Guide to Pets. Across the Pathfinder setting, the people of the Inner Sea and beyond shared their lives not only with the mundane animals common in our world, but also with strange and marvelous creatures known only to theirs. This video presents a curated selection of such unique animals, weird and interesting creatures that can serve as familiars or animal companions for your own characters. I focus this list on creatures of the animal type, even if they sometimes have some fantastical or magical qualities to them, and which have been either domesticated or trained by humanoids, serving as companions, guardians, laborers, or sometimes even just as status symbols. From curious chameleonic foxes to desert-dwelling pangolins, these remarkable animals reflect the diverse cultures and magical ecosystems that shape everyday life on Golarion. The Absalom Badger. While most of this list contains animals not native to our own world, in Absalom, badgers are more popular than house cats. So popular, in fact, they're worth calling out. Absalom even has its own unique badger breeds, such as the Amberbrock and the Tunnelbrach, the latter of which is particularly popular due to their less territorial nature and their ease of domesticity. The Tri-Stripe Society is a widespread group of badger enthusiasts in Absalom that help keep the culture of badger rearing and breeding alive across the city, while the Fierce Stripe is a popular shop to purchase badgers and badger-related paraphernalia. Augdunar. Augdunars are a unique dwarf-bred strain of mule, developed in High Helm to be especially strong, resilient, and suited to dwarven stature. Unlike typical mules, they can reproduce, though infrequently, making their population self-sustaining but limited. Loyal and notoriously difficult to steal, Augdunars are prized by dwarven merchants and caravans for their carrying capacity and their stubborn nature. While rarely used as mounts due to their aversion to riders, those who earn an Augdunar's trust gain an unmatched and fiercely protective companion. Additionally, they are cheap to maintain, as they can subsist on relatively small patches of grass or hay, even during periods of heavy work, and require about as much daily water as a camel. This unfortunately also makes them popular targets for thieves. Bacallia, a kind of alpaca specially bred in Druma for its lustrous fur. Ownership of such fauna is seen as a symbol of status in the country, and the value of Bacallian wool is particularly high. Bacallias can also defend themselves fairly well. They can spit an acidic spittle, and on bright days their lustrous fur can reflect light with such luster that it can temporarily dazzle onlookers. Blackwisp Egret. Generally found in swampy environments, this carnivorous seabird has a deceptive appearance at night, as its black feathers seem to absorb the light around them, causing them to disappear, and their glowing eyes are often mistaken for deadly will-o'-the-wisps. Though mostly scavengers and hunters of small prey, starving flocks have been known to attack humanoids on occasion. At night, with their black feathers making them nearly invisible, they will often flock together for safety, using their eerie appearance to deter predators. Though not widely domesticated like other animals on this list, swamp druids have domesticated them, or else trained them as animal companions, where they often function as eerie living wards to protect their homes after dark. Bristle Boar. Bristle boars are aggressive creatures native to open plains and low hills, particularly common in the hold of Belkzen. They can pose a serious threat to unwary scouts and trackers, as they can grow quite large, on average weighing around 200 pounds. Their most distinctive feature is a ring of long, hollow spines around the neck, similar to those of a porcupine, which make them far more dangerous than ordinary boars. Their spines mean they cannot easily serve as a mount, but they can be trained to serve as an animal companion. Cradle Minder. Common in devil-worshipping Cheliacs, Cradle Minders are small, imp-like creatures originally bred from fiendish frogs. Despite persistent rumors that they were gifted to their original owners through infernal pacts, they are not in fact native outsiders, but a kind of animal species. Amphibious by nature, they possess leathery wings, bulging frog-like eyes, and a surprisingly gentle disposition. Loyal and protective, Cradle Minders tend to form a strong bond with a single individual, often a child, and emit loud, warning croaks when they sense danger. However, responsible care for such creatures requires that they eat a steady diet of fiendish earthworms, a fairly expensive food source. Charig, a luminous amphibious creature native to the shores and shallows of Ember Lake in Varisia. The charig resembles a slender newt or salamander, with glistening, translucent skin that emits a soft phosphorescent glow. This natural luminescence is mostly visible at night, and is said to resemble drifting embers on the water's surface, hence the name of the lake. Charigs are shy but curious, often drawn to sources of warmth and magic, and are sometimes kept by Varisian spellcasters as living lanterns or calming companions. Their glow is thought to ward off ill fortune, and folktales speak of travelers guided to safety by the flickering lights of a charig pod gliding silently through the dark. Compsognathus. This diminutive, swift-footed dinosaur is a favorite companion in regions where prehistoric life still thrives, such as the Mammoth Lord's Domain, the Pirate Isles of the Shackles, and the sun-drenched lands of Holomog. Roughly the size of a chicken, the Compsognathus resembles a bird-like reptile with sleek dappled scales, clawed forelimbs, and a long snake-like neck topped by a narrow, inquisitive head filled with tiny, sharp teeth. Despite their carnivorous nature, they are easily tamed and often kept as pets, pest catchers, or novelty companions. Intelligent and quick to imprint, a well-trained Compsognathus can respond to simple commands and displays surprising loyalty, though owners quickly learn to keep food out of reach lest their curious pets vanish with it in a blur of motion. Cragstone Bear. This reclusive, dog-sized bear is native to remote mountain caves, where it feeds on mineral-rich spring water, believed to be the source of the stony plates that form naturally over its thick fur. Despite its rugged appearance, the Cragstone Bear is playful, affectionate, and surprisingly energetic, displaying a temperament more akin to a loyal hound than a wild bear. However, its exuberant romping, combined with its rocky armor, can make its affection a bit rough for the unprepared. Favored as companions by cave-dwelling rangers and mountain clans, Cragstone Bears are both hardy guardians and endearing friends. Dallo. Sometimes referred to as dwarf pigs, Dallos are actually more closely related to surface-dwelling sloths and armadillos. These stocky, bleating creatures were domesticated by dwarves generations ago, from smaller, more timid ancestors, and have since become a staple of underground life. Feral Dallos also roam the vast caverns of the Darklands, surviving on a diet of fungus, lichen, and mold. Though armored with tough plates and crowned with heavy horns, their true survival advantage has lied in their rapid reproduction. Mothers can birth up to 6 calves at once, with offspring reaching maturity in mere months. This prolific breeding makes them a critical food source for subterranean predators and scavengers, and their droppings help fertilize the fungal ecosystems below. Domesticated Dallos typically reach about 3 feet in length and weigh around 60 pounds, though wild specimens can grow significantly larger. Digmauls and Silvercats. These muscular cougar-like cats have fearsome teeth and a thick tail ending in a spiked ball or rounded ball of bone. Found in temperate forests, mostly in Avestan, Digmauls are elusive feline predators known for their musky scent and deadly ambush tactics, often dropping from treetop perches to strike, battering victims with their heavy spiked tails. Though they possess only animal intelligence, Digmauls communicate using bird-like calls and the rhythmic drumming of their tails, which can carry for miles through the forest. Communities of woodland dwellers have been able to tame Digmauls to act as guardians, though such feats are rare and often attributed to druidic influence. Even rarer are Silvercats, a variant species with shimmering blue-gray fur and smoother tails, ending in a rounded ball of bone, said to be able to strike with great force. They are revered in folklore for their beauty and power. Enchanter Heron. Enchanter herons are elegant, long-legged birds best known for the bioluminescent sac that dangles beneath their throats, pulsing with a soft, mesmerizing glow. This strange feature is believed to be the result of prolonged exposure to magical fallout, and the birds have adapted over generations to not only survive, but thrive in such hazardous environments. Native to the shattered ruins of Aslant, enchanter herons now also appear in other regions, steeped in lingering arcane energy, such as the Impossible Lands, especially the unstable reaches of the Mana Wastes. Their eerie, shimmering light is not just decorative. Locals claim it can soothe tempers, lull predators to sleep, and even entrance the weak-minded. While not truly magical in nature, the heron's glow often draws the attention of curious adventurers and arcane scholars alike. Fading Fox. Native to Taldor, fading foxes are cunning, elusive creatures named for their remarkable ability to shift the color of their fur to match their surroundings. Aside from this chameleon-like camouflage, they resemble ordinary foxes in form, but not so much in behavior. Taldan nobles who prize the fading fox as a challenging and prestigious quarry often quip that these animals are smarter than their own children, a testament to the fox's agility, sharp instincts, and talent for slipping through traps and into storerooms unnoticed. So while aristocrats relish the thrill of the chase, commoners see the fading fox as a persistent nuisance, one they're rarely allowed to trap and seldom able to outwit. The Flash Beetle. Flash beetles are large bioluminescent insects roughly 3 feet long with glowing organs on their abdomens that emit a steady, bright light, even after death. Their natural glow makes them a popular choice among miners and underground explorers who value the beetles as a safer, more affordable alternative to torches or lanterns. In the Darklands, these beetles are often domesticated and used in place of artificial lighting, kept as pets or livestock, and housed in cages to illuminate spaces frequented by surface dwellers unaccustomed to total darkness. Flying Squirrel or Sugar Glider. A clever little squirrel, which, although not capable of actual flight, possesses a furry membrane stretching between its wrists and ankles, allowing it to glide for long distances. These squirrels are favored companions by rogues and scoundrels. They can be trained to crash down onto a target, furiously clawing at it, not to mention being good at pilfering things and getting away. Galtan Orange Cats. The Galtan Orange Cat is a distinctive breed, developed for its short legs and dense, flame-colored coat, traits that made it ideal for hunting vermin in the narrow crawl spaces of noble estates. Once considered part of the household staff in aristocratic homes, these clever and capable mousers were abandoned in large numbers during the Galtan Revolution, left to survive on their own as the nobility fell. Though a thriving feral population endures in the cities and countryside, only a single breeder of purebred Galtan Orange Cats remains today, making these pedigreed companions rare, coveted, and a living relic of a vanished era. Gem Wasp. One of the most iconic creatures found in the elven nation of Keonin is the gem wasp, a striking insect known for its pupae, which shimmers like cut gemstones. These glittering casings are highly valued by artisans and jewelers, who often incorporate the iridescent husks into fine jewelry and ornamentation. Among Callistria's faithful, it is common to wear pendants containing unhatched pupae, both as a symbol of transformation and to witness the moment the radiant wasps emerge, a fleeting yet mesmerizing event. Goat-like creatures, riding goats, skitter goats, and stony goats. The riding goat is a robust and sturdy breed native to the rugged Five Kings Mountains, prized both as a reliable steed and a hardy pack animal. Known for their sure-footedness and endurance, riding goats expertly navigate the treacherous mountain trails, carrying heavy loads or riders with equal ease. Skitter goats, by contrast, are small, nimble goats, uniquely adapted to coexist alongside the fierce ancravs that share their environment. Their diet consists almost exclusively of ancrav eggs, and their lithe bodies allow them to slip through the narrowest crevices in search of these prized delicacies. Quick and alert, skitter goats are masters at evading the wrathful ancrav mothers fiercely guarding their nests. Stony goats, though meek in temperament, are strikingly different from the rest of their kin. Their horns resemble jagged rocks, a natural camouflage in the rocky slopes they call home. These unusual goats possess incredibly tough teeth, harder than diamonds, that allow them to chew and digest mineral ores and raw metals. Their particular appetite for stone and metal sustains them, making them reasonably common in otherwise remote mountain regions. Goblin Dog. The iconic goblin pet. Goblin dogs are rodent-like creatures with thin bodies and long legs, often cowardly and lurking in shadows to ambush weak prey. Despite their name, they aren't actually true dogs, but have long been bred by goblins as guard animals and mounts. They also often carry a contagious skin disease called goblin pox that causes severe itching and sores in most creatures other than goblins who seem to be immune. Goblin dogs scavenge for their food and thrive on carrion, as well as the refuse that the goblins won't eat. Gliding turtle. These large aquatic turtles are distinguished by a vast translucent membrane of scaly skin that stretches gracefully from the edges of its massive shell down to its sturdy legs. giving it the unique ability to dive out of the water and then glide for considerable distance. Native to the mysterious and ancient ruins of Aslant Archipelago, these majestic creatures have long captured the awe of sailors and explorers who have traversed the region's shimmering seas. Their slow, deliberate movements and impressive size makes them appear to be living relics of a forgotten age, and perhaps they are, embodying the enduring mysteries of Aslant's once great but long-lost civilization. Grayhorn. Grayhorns are formidable mountain rams, prized for their immense strength and sure-footedness on the rugged peaks of the Five Kings Mountains. Domesticated by the dwarves centuries ago, these impressive beasts have become indispensable companions, whether bearing riders through treacherous mountain passes or hauling heavy loads across rocky terrain. Their thick, curling horns and dense, weather-resistant coats make them perfectly adapted to the harsh alpine environment, while their steadfast loyalty and resilience have earned them a revered place in dwarven culture and daily life. Great Horned Owl. The great horned owl lives up to its name, with striking, small, antler-like tufts that rise above its piercing eyes, lending it a mysterious and almost regal appearance in the twilight. Larger and more imposing than common owls, it boasts an impressive wingspan that can stretch up to 5 feet, allowing it to glide silently through the dense canopies of the Firani forest and other enchanted woodlands touched by fey magic. Revered by local tribes and forest dwellers alike, this majestic bird is often seen as a guardian of the wild, its haunting calls echoing through the night as a reminder of the deep, ancient magic woven into these shadowed realms. Grindle-Grubs and Grindle-Drakes. Certain breeds of Grindle-Grub, maggot-like creatures used in dwarven cities to break down waste, can undergo metamorphosis into a flying, insect-like animal. Grindle-Grubs have long been a vital part of the Five Kings Mountains ecosystem, especially in cities where large pits of these white grubs break down organic waste while providing protein for other creatures. The common breeds eventually metamorphose into heavy, black flies, but the original form and origins of Grindle-Grubs were lost over time due to selective breeding practices. However, a few centuries ago, scholar Ilivac Targan revived an ancient variant called the Grindle-Drake, brightly colored, 6-legged creatures with sharp beaks. Today, Grindle-Drakes are still bred in Tar-Kesmuk and often serve as familiars to the Blue Warders. Hardhead Mole. Hardhead moles are mischievous burrowing creatures native to grasslands and plains, easily identified by their gem-like, colorful skulls that flash with each impact. Many gnome communities have a playful bond with these moles, often engaging them in games that involve tapping their tough heads. The most famous hardhead mole of all is Rumbrillar, a planar servitor of the gnome goddess Nivi Rombodazzle, who protects gnome settlements with his diamond skin and immense size. Generally docile and friendly, hardhead moles use extensive tunnel networks to escape danger, and they can communicate an incredible range of emotion through their changing skull colors. Hexgrub and Hexmoth. At first glance, hexgrubs might seem like ordinary, unremarkable larvae, but these creatures harbor a remarkable secret: their uncanny ability to detect and absorb magical energy. Often found nestled in witches' huts, arcanist sanctuaries, and enchanted glades, hexgrubs voraciously consume ambient magic, growing swiftly as they feed on lingering spellcraft and mystical forces. After reaching maturity, they spin delicate, shimmering cocoons before emerging as hexmoths, ethereal, radiant-winged creatures whose colors and patterns often reflect the type of magic they once devoured. Some hexmoths exhibit a particular affinity for specific magics, such as the fiery glow of flame spells or the wild pulse of primal forces, making them living embodiments of the arcane energies that nurtured them. Holdfast. Holdfasts are small but deadly hunters with sleek bodies, large talons, and camouflaged gray fur that helps them ambush prey by attacking from below. Originally native to rocky terrains, they have spread widely, especially through orc communities that use them as hunting companions. While difficult to handle and often considered invasive by others, holdfasts sometimes form mutual hunting partnerships with birds of prey. They also fiercely guard their young, but avoid other holdfasts except during mating seasons. Known for their ability to escape enclosures, they require secure containment or humane traps. In Orclands, especially in Belkzen near the Gravelands, holdfasts are used not only for hunting, but also for combating undead threats. House Eagle. These smaller falcons bear the distinctive brown and white markings reminiscent of true eagles, and are especially favored by eagle knights or other people from Andoran. Valued as both a symbol of national pride or as a vigilant companion in the field, they can serve as keen watchers for their owners. While they can be kept indoors, they do need a dedicated perch and are notorious for their habit of pouncing on and shredding floor rugs. Kayalini. Native to the netherworld, Kayalini resemble small monkeys with reptilian features like claws, short horns, and long, shadowy tongues. They are common enough in Absalom, where they were originally brought there by the Kales, or fetchlings, escaping the netherworld. They can be quite timid, and in unfamiliar surroundings, they often hide beneath beds or inside closets. However, once they trust someone, they become very friendly, happy to calmly sit on their lap for hours. Keulia. Indigenous to Druma, the Keulia is a distinctive horned frilled lizard known for the unusual shell of debris it carries on its back. This protective covering often includes a dazzling mix of precious metals, gemstones, and other rare materials the creature collects from its surroundings, making each individual uniquely striking. Highly prized as companions, Keulias are popular pets throughout Druma, with the rarest and most exquisitely adorned breeds carefully bred in the wealthy region of Gullshire. Beyond their ornamental value, Keulias can be trained as loyal guardians, using their sturdy gem-encrusted shells to ram and deter would-be attackers, fiercely protecting their owners with surprising courage and tenacity. Marp. Marps are blue-furred creatures that uniquely consume gold as a vital part of their diet. While some live near natural gold deposits, most obtain gold by befriending other creatures and politely asking for it, often simply holding their hands up and softly requesting, "Gold?" They view gold as food, not currency, and may steal it if denied, seeing this as justified like taking bread when starving. Marps typically avoid combat and prefer to flee when threatened. Despite their potential as a nuisance, they can be trained as useful helpers, using their keen sense for gold to assist prospectors or counterfeit detectors. Marps strongly dislike lead, and even a single lead coin mixed with gold can deter them from stealing. Mereswan. Gracefully gliding through the shimmering waters of Droskemir Lake in Andoran, the elegant Mereswans are among the lake's most enchanting inhabitants. These majestic creatures are known not only for their sleek, swan-like forms and iridescent feathers that catch the sunlight in dazzling displays, but also for a remarkable and rare phenomenon. They periodically expel exquisite gizzard stones. These lustrous stones, polished naturally within the Mereswan's digestive systems, are highly prized by the skilled dwarven artisans of the Five Kings Mountains, who craft them into stunning jewelry and intricate artworks. Mjolgats. Mjolgats are sturdy boar-like creatures with large bone crests on their heads and exceptional noses that can detect ore deep underground. Discovered by dwarves mining the Shattered Range, these beasts are now widely used across Golarion as draft animals and companions, trained to locate precious metals. Known for their gruff temperaments, Mjolgats develop strong necks over time to support their heavy crests, with young ones struggling to hold their heads up until they mature. In addition to being used as ore scouts, some dwarves use Mjolgats as an impromptu alarm system, as the creatures emit terrifying shrieks when threatened. Orchid Mantis. Orchid mantises are among the most strikingly beautiful insects, their graceful shapes and vibrant colors perfectly mimicking delicate flowers. Often kept as short-lived pets, the common orchid mantis is harmless to humanoids, but are fierce predators in their own class, capable of taking down prey much larger than themselves. When they unfurl from their floral disguise, they strike with lightning speed, using sharp-toothed arms and a powerful bite to capture even nimble butterflies. Some varieties, the giant orchid mantis, can grow to impressive sizes, making their camouflage less effective, except in places where giant blossoms are natural, such as dense rainforests or rare herb gardens. These breeds can also serve as exotic guardians for those wealthy enough to keep them. Pangolin-like creatures, the honey pangolin, the sundaflora, and the ugvasha. The honey pangolin is a rare and remarkable creature, found only in the harsh desert interior of Thuvia. Known for its striking armor-like scales and delicate, honey-scented secretions, this enigmatic animal has fascinated scholars and naturalists alike. What truly sets the honey pangolin apart is its extraordinary lifespan. These creatures can live for an astonishing 750 years or more. Researchers speculate that their longevity is closely tied to their specialized diet, which consists primarily of the elusive sun orchids that bloom amidst the arid sands. Meanwhile, sundafloras are a related animal native to Tian Xia. Sundafloras are gentle bipedal beings adorned with vibrant overlapping petal-like scales that cascade across their bodies. Though uncommon in the wild, they are most often found wandering the manicured garden landscapes of Goka, where they are viewed as symbols of grace, exuding a calm and contemplative presence. Finally, the Ugvashi is a razor-plated pangolin-like beast roughly the size of a small pony, traditionally used by Kazmaran halflings as a pack animal. Though too spiny to serve as mounts, Ugvashi are valued for their strength and curiosity. Originally brought to the Impossible Lands from Vudra aboard Maharaja Kibinsal's fleet, they are now so common in regions like Western Nex that many forget they're not native. Despite their generally friendly nature, their sharp scales and heavy digging claws can injure the unwary, especially those trying to pet or steal them. Neric halflings adorn their Ugvashi with painted wards, some magical, to protect both the beasts and their cargo. Though they shed their scales in winter, which can be harvested for crafting, halflings rarely trade such goods, wary of encouraging theft. Ugvashi meat is also considered a delicacy in regions with scarce or tainted food supplies, putting the creatures at further risk from predators or poachers. Rabbit-like creatures: Almirage, Jackalope, Skvader, and Vulpertinger. The Almirage is a small, elusive creature that closely resembles a common rabbit, but is distinguished by a single spiraling unicorn-like horn centered on its forehead. This magical horn is said to possess potent healing properties, and is highly prized by alchemists and enchanters alike. They are favored as familiars by witches. The Jackalope, by contrast, is a larger and more robust hare, with impressive antlers reminiscent of a stag. Jackalopes are known for their remarkable speed and agility, bounding swiftly across prairies and open fields, their haunting calls echoing on quiet nights. The Skvader is an extraordinary hybrid, combining the familiar form of a rabbit with the feathered wings and bushy tail of a grouse. This creature is capable of short bursts of flight, fluttering between dense underbrush or evading predators with sudden aerial escapades. Native to mixed woodlands and meadow regions, the Skvaders are admired for their curious nature and are sometimes considered omens of changing seasons. Finally, the Vulpertinger is the most fantastical of these creatures, boasting feathered wings and the elegant antlers of a young deer atop its small, hair-like body. Vulpertingers live in tight-knit packs and fiercely defend their territories. Each pack claims a suitable area and vigilantly patrols its borders. While this aggressive defense applies equally to rival packs of other Vulpertingers, neighboring groups can maintain a peaceful coexistence as long as their boundaries remain respected and unbreached. Rootball, or the Rootball Chair. A root ball is a woven sphere of living plant roots that rolls smoothly across the ground, and, as a familiar or companion, it primarily serves as a mobility aid for the handicapped. When used in such a configuration, its owner sits comfortably on a stabilized seat perched above the rolling root ball. Whether the Rootball Chair is an artificial invention, a naturally occurring plant, or a discovery from the magical plane of wood remains a mystery. Shisa. Though smaller and more delicate in appearance than most horses, Shisas possess a surprising resilience that defies their fragile look. These hardy creatures thrive in harsh desert environments, capable of traveling for weeks on minimal water and subsisting on sparse desert scrub, or even swarms of locusts when food is scarce. Their coats display a stunning variety of colors, making them prized not only for their endurance but also for their beauty. In the Padishah Empire, Shisas are far more than mere mounts. They are fierce, devoted partners, treasured by their owners for their unwavering loyalty and formidable spirit. Few Shisas ever leave Kelashite hands, a testament to the deep bond and respect between rider and steed. Shotulashu. Shotulashus are telepathic reptilian mounts native to Castroval, known for forming exclusive bonds with their riders. They are prized by mounted warriors, but require deep telepathic connection to be tamed. Some have been brought to Galarian by elves and Lashuntas, and a few wild descendants of escaped Shotulashus can be found in Keonan and in the greater environs of the Isle of Kortos. Despite having been introduced to the Inner Sea region long ago, they remain rare and expensive animals on Galarian. Slurk. The slurk is a sticky, tusked, frog-like creature dwelling in caves and underground lairs. It has large tusks for attacking prey and rivals, and can climb walls and cling to ceilings, making it dangerous for explorers. Slurks secrete two foul substances: a sticky, resin-like slime that hardens and immobilizes foes, and a slippery, greasy secretion on their underside that protects them from their own slime, and makes them hard to capture. Thought to descend from failed dwarven attempts to domesticate giant subterranean frogs, slurks are now often befriended and trained by kobolds as mounts and guardians. Kobold riders use slurks' climbing abilities and surprise attacks from cave ledges to harry their enemies. Tauhoti. Tauhotis are fluffy ground squirrels with long ear tufts. and are another specialist breed unique to Druma. They have unique mutualistic behavior, trading food with other animals, and remembering who they owe or are owed, identified by scent. In warmer seasons, Tahotes gather and share food widely to prepare for winter, using their exceptional memory to recall food cache locations and individual animals. They engage in these reciprocal relationships, exchanging help or storage services for less accessible food. Their reputation for loyalty and memory has led humans to view Tahote kinship as a sign of trustworthiness, and selective breeding has produced albino variants favored by social elites. Tuatara, a rugged, lizard-like creature adorned with rows of sharp spiny scales that ripple down its back, culminating in a distinctive, knobby, club-like tail. These elusive animals dwell primarily within the shadowed recesses of mountain caves, where their keen senses and sturdy build allow them to navigate the rocky terrain with ease. Their tails serve both as powerful defensive weapons and as tools for balance as they move deftly through narrow crevices and steep slopes. Revered by local folk for their mysterious presence, tuataras are often considered guardians of the mountain's hidden secrets. Famously, Pathfinder's iconic shaman, Shardra Geltel, has a tuatara companion. Vulture Rat. A relative of the common dire rat, these large scavenger rats live in Geb, where they have evolved to feast on the remains of the undead. Resistant to disease and negative energy, they play a vital role in cleaning up necromantic waste. Though not necessarily aggressive by nature, they defend their colonies fiercely, and are sometimes trained by necromancers for disposal work. Whispers also claim that some have developed an eerie intelligence in Geb's deepest catacombs. Warcat. Warcats are immense predators that combine the sleek agility of great cats with the natural armor of armadillos. Their powerful bodies are covered in segmented shell-like plates, giving them the appearance of a feline wrapped in living armor. Reaching up to 25 feet in length and weighing nearly 4,000 pounds, warcats roam vast territories, alone or with a mate, hunting everything from megafauna to giants, and even the occasional young dragon. Among the orc clans of the Hold of Belkzen, warcats raised from cubs become fearsome companions and battle mounts, reserved for only the most formidable warriors. Whale steeds. Whale steeds are fierce, saber-toothed dolphins found in the tropical waters of the Shackles, known for their intelligence, speed, and surprising aggression when threatened. Unlike ordinary dolphins, they possess a powerful jaw lined with long, curved fangs, and they use these to hunt sharks and other large sea creatures. Skilled riders, often sea-hardened corsairs or marine druids, can form lifelong bonds with these mounts, learning to command them through a mix of gestures, whistles, and instinctive movement. Though difficult to tame, a trained whale steed is both a loyal companion and a formidable asset in naval warfare or underwater exploration. Whisperfall Vulture. Unlike its carrion-feeding cousins, the Whisperfall Vulture is a swift and agile predator, native to the rugged highlands and canyons of Belkzen. With its powerful wings and unusually silent flight pattern, this bird of prey is capable of diving at incredible speeds to snatch up rabbits, rock lizards, and other small game before they can even sense any danger. Its feathers are mottled in greys and browns, providing natural camouflage against the stony backdrop of its native range, and its sharp, curved talons are strong enough to pierce through bone. Orcs and goblinoids in the region occasionally train them as hunting companions or war scouts, though such bonds require tremendous patience and mutual respect. Despite their fearsome demeanor, they are deeply respected in local lore. X's Lizard. These striking black and white lizards, named after the druid who first trained them, are known for their unusually large stomachs and sluggish digestion. The druid developed a method of using them as living vaults, teaching the lizards to swallow specially prepared pouches attached to their collars by a chain. These durable purses can hold a surprising amount of valuables, safely stored within the creature's belly, for up to a month before the contents begin to break down. While not quick, these lizards are trusted companions for transporting important items discreetly and securely. Zetogeki and Draft Lizards. Zetogekis are giant basalt-skinned lizards that dwell near active volcanoes, especially around hot springs and geysers, which they guard fiercely as their only source of sustenance. Known for their ability to absorb and release kinetic energy, they can weaponize impacts, sometimes even throwing themselves down mountains to charge up. Their shale-like scales can also shift to form defensive patterns, making them quite dangerous to approach. Though a menace to both wilderness travelers and hot spring owners, their hides are highly prized by alchemists and mages. Meanwhile, the draft lizard, thought to be a domesticated relative of the Zetogeki, are known for their immense strength and distinctive habit of chewing on rocks. These sturdy gold and white-scaled reptiles are native to the tunnels of the Five Kings Mountains, and domesticated by dwarves as reliable beasts of burden. Though usually docile, they react aggressively to hringars for unknown reasons, a trait not taught during domestication. In High Helm, some have even been trained to perform in shows, though such feats are difficult to replicate outside of professional troops.